여러분 안녕하세요. 녹화가 제대로 돼 있길 빌면서 게임을 시작해보도록 해보겠습니다. 오늘 세 번째 게임이죠. 워킹데드 1을 끝냈고, 돈스타브 한 번, 두 번 정도 해봤고, 다음에 좀 더 잘해지게 됐으면 좋겠네요. 그 다음에 이번에 마지막으로 해볼 게임, 더 비기너즈 가이드라는 스팀 게임입니다. 이 게임은 이제 제 열혈 팬 중 한 분이며, 버스 장인인 이제 투너미라는 닉네임을 가진 분이 저에게 이제 권한을 주셔서 제가 지금 제 컴퓨터에서 실행을 하게 될 수 있었습니다. 먼저 투너미에게 무엇보다 말하고 싶고요. 투너미가 추천해줘서 한번 해보게 됐습니다. 한번 해볼게요. 투너미가 말하기를 플레이 시간이 1시간 반에서 2시간이라고 하네요. 알겠습니다. 기대되네요. 1시간 반에서 2시간이면 나쁘지 않고, 조작법 WASD, 왼쪽 마우스 클릭. 알겠습니다. 나쁘지 않아.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable.
작가?
And while that
그래?
game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
5년에서 8년 사이.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
코다?
Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make.
그래서 비기너즈
So
가이드라는
just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for
이거?
Counter-Strike.
그러네.
You can walk around here, by the way. And
그래?
mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of
3D
building a
환경을
3D environment.
딱
But what I
FPS
like
게임
is that
같죠?
even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder,
실존한 사람을 위해
what was going through his head as he was building this?
무슨 생각을
This is
하는
what I like
거였을까?
about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to
딱
their
들어오면
creator.
오,
I want us
좋네요.
to see past the games themselves.
게임
I
너머의
want to get to
것들
know who this human being really is.
어떤 존재인가?
And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008.
2008년
Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them.
배포하지
He doesn't
않았대요?
put them onto the internet. He just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever.
왜 그랬을까?
And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important
중요한
Games
게임
Folder.
폴더를
So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
그래?
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda.
진짜 이야기예요 이게?
So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper
코다의
game.
게임을
As each game is
보아보도록
loading,
해볼까요?
I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
2008년에 11월에 만들어진 코다의 첫 작품입니다. 뭔가요? 와, 총알이 무한이야.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
엄청나게 박동강 멈춰. 이쪽이 아니야. 잠시만. 수바. 아무도 나에게 방자를 바꾸라고 말해주지 않았어. 아 죄송합니다. 위험해. 뭔가 전혀 걷는다는 느낌이 없네요. 뭔가 게임이. 뭐야?
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form.
가자. 가야 돼. 빨리. 빨리 가야 돼. 막혔어 여기.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly
미안해. 너 목소리가 너무 커.
there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
그러니까
But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it
그대로가
was complete
완성된
the way
것으로
that it
간주했을
is.
수도 있다는
And
거야.
I think that we should talk about his games for what they
어떤
are,
것인지 노해내야
rather
되지
than for what
어떤
they're
것이
not.
아닌지에 대해서 논하면 안 될 것 같아.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
그러니까 뭐야? 깜짝이야. 우주의 바닥을 볼 수가 있네요 이 게임. 뭐야.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it.
뭐야?
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
뭐야? 고마워.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
끌 수 있는지? 엔진.
Hey, you there in the engine room. You could save us all.
누구야?
That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
장난해?
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
장난해? 야. 나 진짜 이 새끼 슈바. 어쩔 수 없지. 내가 원래 이런 거 안 해주지만 지금은 이거 왜 선택지가 없으니까 해주겠어.
This is not a branching point. Unfortunately, the only option is to step into the beam.
그러니까. 죽었어.
Let me pause here for a second.
누웠어.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying,
누웠죠 지금?
is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
어?
Because yes, this is technically a human event. In the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
기가 막힌 게임이네요. 이건 바로 하나님과 영접을 위해서 만든 게임이 아닐까 그런 생각을 한번 해봅니다. 완벽한 게임이다. 이건 무슨 게임이야?
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
과거는 그녀의 뒤에 있었다. 슈바. 엿같은 게임일세.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
독특한 목소리를 보여주겠다고? 왜 미래는 계속해서 변화하는가? 그녀가 멈춰서 그것을 보자. 그것은 더욱 명확해졌다. 지금 전 과거를 보고 있죠. 하지만 미래가 항상 그녀의 뒤에 있었다면 그녀가 대체 어떻게 그것에 맞설 수 있겠는가?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
좋은데 나쁘지 않아 이런 게임. 시야가 너무 좁아. 입장 중입니다. 알겠습니다. 정말로 딱 하고 싶은 말만 하고 껐네요. 근데 이해가 안 되는 것도 아니에요.
And that's it.
뭐?
Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see
입장
what makes it
중입니다 하고
interesting.
끝나서 게임이 어디로 입장 중인데 죽음으로? 넌센스는 어느
Oftentimes, Coda
방향이나
would put bizarre
존재한다.
titles like this one at the start of his games.
슈바 이것도 무슨 게임이야?
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was
내가 이런
making these
초기
early
게임을
games.
알고 좋았을 텐데.
He would really only
항상
talk to
당시에
me
작업
about his
중인 것에
work as
대해서는
he was making it.
이야기했거든.
Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
와 슈바 느려져.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
오케이 고마워. 이걸 원래대로라면 엄청 느리게 이런 식으로 와야 되는 거 아니야? 그래서 딱 도착했어. 왔더니 별다른 게 없네.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
신기한 게임이네요. 자, 준비. 낚시. 마음에 드는 게임입니다. Very good.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
그래?
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
안 풀려. 어떻게 하는 거야? 이게 요점이 아닌가? 이게 요인데. 어딨지? 어디 뭐 스위치 같은 게 있나?
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
슈바. 신기한 게임이로군. 뭐야, 어디로 가야 돼?
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple
와,
enough. All right.
끝!
Now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all
게임을
of the walls
수정했어?
from
일정
this
게임을
room.
수정을 해? 슈바, 좆됐군. 이거 왜 어차피
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role
그래
as
내
a
역할이
player.
아니지 그건.
So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
글쎄 그건 바로 또 이거야? 입장 중입니다. 입장 중이라고?
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow.
어떻게든 연관돼
It
있다고.
could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle
계단
game
게임과
are
퍼즐
literally
게임을
connected in between
입장
this and
게임
the
사이를
entering game.
연결해 주기도 있.
There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a
모든
role
게임
in,
큰
some
우리가
larger
그림
meaning that we
전체를
won't
보기
be able to
전에는 파악할
grasp
수 없는
until
큰
we've seen
그림이
all of
있다는
them.
걸 말이지.
And once we have, we can step
그리고
back
우리가 다시
and
되돌아보면
start to
큰 그림이
understand
정확히
what
무엇을
exactly that
의미하는지
bigger
이해하기
picture
시작하게
is.
되지. 이해하셨나요? 좀 알 것 같기도 하네요. 아, 코다 새끼 진짜 게임 존나 잘 만드네.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
그래? 그래서
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
소스 엔진.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does
아,
poorly.
그래?
One of the things that it does very well is
네모난
boxy
일직선의
linear
복도 같은 거야.
corridors.
이런
That's
거.
why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's
코다가
working with
엔진
what the
스스로
engine does
잘해내는
well.
것들을 위주로 작업했기 때문이지.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing
그렇네.
linear, boxy corridors.
씨발 좆됐다. 그냥 떨어지는 거였어? 뒤지는 줄. 개 잘 만들었잖아 여기. 1층이 전부가 아니었네? 보이는 게 전부가 아니다라는 걸 말하고 싶은 건가? 그래서 게임 엔진이라는 건 좀 알겠어 이제. 게임 엔진, 소스 엔진이 이제 직사각형, 뭐 긴 복도 그런 거가 잘 할 수 있다라고 나한테 알려줬네요. 그래서 코다의 게임은 그런 소스 슈가 뭐야 도대체? 소스들을 이용하여서 잘 할 수 있게 됐다고 말하고 싶은 거네요. 이해했어? 아 일로?
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full
Yeah.
hour before letting you
이게
go.
감옥이었어?
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
어,
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a
게임이
game ought
플레이
to actually
가능한지.
be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know,
이렇게
all this
게임에
work
공을
goes into the
들여놓고도
game,
이 모든
why
것들이
not make
대체 왜
it
다른
playable and
사람들이
accessible?
플레이하거나
And so we just got into
접근성이
heated arguments over it, and there was one time
한
that
번은
after one
그런데
of these
모드를 끝낸
conversations,
뒤에
he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was
플레이.
full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was
빈박스 같은 곳을
just an
돌아다니는
empty
거면
box
아무것도 없는
that you walked
게임들이었어.
around in, and nothing else.
그럼 그게 플레이어블.
Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
왜 그런 걸 보냈을까요? 그리고 플레이어블 게임이라고 이름을 붙였죠? 그 폴더에.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so
퍼즐이
special
뭐
that
그렇게
Coda is
계속
going to
계속
return to it
확실한
over and
이유가
over.
보이지 않겠지.
But I
그러네.
promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
공유해봐. 왜 퍼즐이 필요한 거야 이거? 특별히 새로운 퍼즐이 있는 것도 아니고 왜 당신 지상에서 온 건가? 저 우연히
Here,
뭐가
Coda
있지?
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
저 위에는 3개 다 있어. 손백으로 새겨진 세상이 3번. 그거 저 위에 세상이구나. 난 거기서 온 거고. 제일 중요한 질문이 있어. 여기 오는 동안 2개의 뭔가 스위치 하나가 있는 퍼즐을 지나와야 하지 않았어? 맞아. 내가 푼 게 아니야. 누군가가 날 들여보내줬어. 내가 풀지 않았다고? 그럼 난 아무것도 배운 게 없겠구나. 넌 우리가 이 감옥을 탈출하는 것을 도울 수 없어. 넌 내가 필요한 사람이 아니야. 분명 다른 누군가가 와줄 거야. 나가라? 나가줄까? 뭐야, 되게 의존적인 애들이네. 요! 가끔 가서 퍼즐을 보는 걸 권하고 싶어. 그 퍼즐을 풀라는 의미가 아니라 그 중간에 어두운 공간에 앉아 있을 수 있으니까. 내가 풀면 무슨 일이 생기지? 글쎄, 그래도 한 가지 예측을 해보자면 그곳에 가기 위해 얻는 것보다 잃을 게 더 클 거야. 이제 곧 다시 풀어볼 기회가 생기겠지. 슈발 새끼들. 정직하게 대답했어야 되나?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
신비한 게임이네요. 투나미의 정신 상태를 알 수 있는 게임입니다.
It's a lamppost.
그러네.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost.
왜?
It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
아 진짜? 이 이후로
I'll tell
게임에?
you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with
그래.
no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to
방향성을
something.
원하기 시작한 거지.
He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
그래? 한번 봐보자고. 보고. 저 이제 목적지가 가로등으로 표현이 되어 있다고. 2009년 4월 한 달이 지났네요. 당신이 걸어다니면서 노트를 남길 수 있습니다. 당신이 볼 수 있는 노트들은 다른 플레이어가 남긴 겁니다. 오케이. 점점점.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda.
코다가 직접
This
쓴
was
거야?
actually the first game of his that I
코다
ever
형
played.
게임이야?
This was shortly
내가
after
들었던
I met
새카라미새
him
쪽 주말
at a weekend
게임
game
재밌어
jam in
그런
Sacramento, where I grew up.
와
I saw him
씨발.
working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
이 양반은
In
친구가
retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
와
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness.
고독감.
I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
플레이를 하게끔 만들어진 게임이 아니었다고? 왜 그렇게 생각하냐?
But it's ironic, isn't it? that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me.
그러네요.
That I could just
신기하네.
play someone's game
머릿속에
and see the
그것도
voices in
잘
their head and
치는
get to know
엉망스러운
them
과정을
better and have to
달려꿔도
do less of
된다니.
the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's
코다의
games so
게임을
much. Is because it felt like they let me
사람과
have that
연결해주는 그런
connection.
느낌이 들거든.
I felt as though he was inviting me
날
personally
초대해주는 것만
into his
같았어.
world.
그렇네요.
And then I feel less lonely too.
여러분 혹시 무슨 말인지 이해하셨습니까? 나 혼자 이해하고 있는 거 아니지? 그럴 거라 믿어. 해석을 정말 잘해놨네요. 한글화가 되게 잘 되어 있는 게임입니다. 더 비기너즈 가이드라는 제목에 맞게
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle
그래
means.
말해줘.
Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind
마음속
at the time
관념
that he was
각각의
making.
게임은
And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of
문을
his
닫아주는
life
역할?
before moving on to the next one. In each
다음
of his games,
챕터입니다라고.
after exploring a theme that he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows
확실히
has a
알고 있는
reliable
명확한
solution. He
이
understands
퍼즐을
exactly
배치하는
how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause.
그러네.
Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
이건 도대체 기자회견인가? 루트 어떻게 남겨요? 찍지 마세요, 여러분들. 말해. 미안하지만 난 말할 수 없어. 포르노 스타도 죽고.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
와, 슈바. 포르노 스타도 죽는다고. 포르노 스타한테 뭔 짓을 당했나? 고니가 뭐?
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway.
와, 되게
Except,
잘
for some reason,
만들었다.
Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture.
그래?
And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
오케이. 어? 이 방 가운데 어떤 각으로 둘까? 냉장고지. 이게 냉장고야? 방의 벽에는 뭘 둘까? 스토브 10개를 벽에 줄지어 두자고. 그래. 어차피 내 질문에 의미가 없어. 오케이. 자연광 시원하게 뚫어버리자고. 아니야. 그리고 테이블도 당연히 필요해야지. 무시. 아니 이건?
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
이런 슈발 같은 게임을.
So, okay,
가-
he throws it out and starts
감옥이로군.
over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
감옥이라는 관념을 다른 방향에서 보면서 만들었다고? 안녕하세요. 앞으로 걸어와 주세요. 이 인내는 당신이 어떠한 감옥 환경에서라도 탈출할 수 있도록 만들어줄 겁니다. 설명을 주의 깊게 따라주세요. 모든 단계를 잘 기억해야 합니다. 먼저 이 테이블을 클릭하세요. 액자로 가서 클릭을 하면 살짝 비틀어주라고? 액자요? 거실등을 껐다가 다시 켜보세요. 이제 왼쪽에 있는 소파로 가서 약간만 움직이세요. 선반을 건드려봐요. 바로 그겁니다. 실제 감옥에서 탈출구가 열릴 겁니다. 처음 왔던 지점으로 들어가서 감옥으로 들어가 보세요. 뭐지 미친 게임. 뭐야? 야!
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just link you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just
계속
spiral.
파고들 뿐이지.
And so he keeps going and going and
그래서
going
계속
and going and
만들고
going.
만들고 그러다 무언가에
And then he
맞닥뜨린
hits
거야.
on something.
뭘
And he likes
맞닥뜨렸는데?
it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons.
뭘 봤는데?
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
마지막 게임이래요. 고다의 집과 가로등이네요. 감옥에서 출소한 것 같은데 내가? 가로등이 있네요. 여기가 이제 Hello? Who are you? Hello? 이봐 나야. 감옥을 탈출한 뒤에 너라고. 당신이 나라고? 즉 너도 이 감옥에 갇혀 있었단 말이지? 응.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to
누군가에게
talk to
말하는
someone,
것,
to share
그의
what's on his
마음속에 있는
mind,
것을 나누고
and to
그가
get
아는
some good
누군가에게
advice
좋은
from
조언을
someone he
듣는 것.
knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still
너는 너
talking to
스스로에게
yourself.
말하고 있다는 거야.
You know,
너도
all of these
알다시피
games so
지금까지 한
far
게임은
are
코다가
Coda
스스로에게
talking to
말하는
himself.
거였지. 탈출하는 걸 알게 된 이 기쁨은 탈출하는 기분이 어때? 아, 완벽하게 고연돼서 동시에 격렬하게 움직이는 것만 같아. 뭔가 달라진 게 느껴져? 난 가끔 이곳에 나간 뒤에도 변한 게 없어 전혀 없을까 두려워. 안돼, 끔찍하잖아. 내가 상상한 가장 최악의 일이야. 걱정 마. 그렇게 나쁜 일 아니야. 내가 약속해. 잠깐, 네가 나라면 너도 갇혀있을 때 또 다른 너에게서 전화를 받은 거야? 그게 맞죠. 너는 무슨 말을 줬어? 탈출하기 위해서 뭘 한 거야? 그냥 내게 진실을 되라고만 했어. 코다였으면 이랬을 것 같아. 그냥 풀려났다고? 그 말이 돼? 말이 되냐고? 말이 될 거야. 뭐에 대해 진실되라고? 그게 바로 탈출하기 위해 알아내야 되는 거야.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games.
나도.
After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
그래? 그럴 수 있겠네.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game
만약
about
코다가
talking to
자신이 아닌
someone
다른
other
사람과
than
말하는
himself?
것에 게임을 만들고 싶어 했다면 어땠을까? 코다는 지금까지의 게임은 2009년 4월, 3, 4월에
To
만들어진
me, this
게임을
environment is meant to
이
represent
공간,
Coda's
이
puzzle,
코다의
with
퍼즐을
the two
대변해
doors
준다.
on either side and a dark transitional space between.
들어가라는 건가? 이런 세상에 네가 알아서 정말 천만다행이야. 남자. 나 혼자 이 집을 청소해야 되나 생각했어. 그래도 정말 비참했겠지? 외로운 손길을 집은 엉망으로
You'll
만든
notice
건
that the
누구나
quality of the art
사실이니까.
is a step up from previous games,
그러네요.
including this new and
이 게임을
improved chat
쓰기 시작한 이
system, which he
새롭고
started
발전된 대화
using from
시스템도
this point
포함해서
on.
말이야.
From here on out, he begins putting much more effort
시각적인 부분에
into
더
the
공을
visual
들이기
polish of
시작했던 것
his work.
같아.
And this particular game took 2 months to
결과물을
create
내기까지
as
2달이 걸려. 2달? 걱정 마. 이렇게 멋진 집이라면 밤새 있어줄 수 있지. 이런 걔가 김치국 마시기를 좋아하는 사람인가 보네. 우선 청소를 시작한 다음 밤새 있을지를 정하자고. 난 여기를 것만 줄 테니 그동안 식탁 좀 치워주겠어? 훨씬 좋은데? 식탁 이렇게 깨끗해야지. 이제 침실로 들어가서 찬물을 좀 정돈해줄래? 너는 아무것도 안 하니? 슈발 새끼야. 거기 있는 동안 깔개 좀 똑바로 자리 잡아줄래? 사소한 디테일이 중요한 거니까. 대체 어쩌다 이 일을 하게 된 거야? 내가 돈 때문에 굉장히 절망스러울 때 내 친구가 날 끌고 와주었지. 알고 보니 난 살면서 돈을 위해 뭔가를 할 때만큼 기분이 좋은 적이 없더라고. 내가 사는 집을 청소하는 건 좋아한 적이 없는데 말이지. 아마 내가 아직 마주할 준비가 되지 악마라도 있나봐. 아, 악마 말하니 생각난 건데 누가 저 소파를 엉망으로 만들어놨지 뭐야? 저쪽에 가서 소파의 베개를 좀 정돈해줄래? 이거 참 누가 소파에 마실 걸 쏟은 거 같은데 네가 저길 좀 걸레질해줄 수 있겠어? 슈발. 나 지금 엄청나게 감성적인 내면적 성찰을 나누고 싶은 게 있는데 괜찮을까? 그래? 뭐만 해보자고? 나랑 얘기하자. 아니야. 생각해보려 멍청하다. 미안해. 신경 쓰지 마. 그보다 이 접시들 좀 설거지해야 될 것 같은데 해주지 그래? 내가 처음에 욕조를 봤더니 좀 청소가 필요해 보이더라. 최선을 다해 씻어줄래? 완벽하긴 필요 없어. 사람이 하는 일이니까. 아직도 침실 바닥에 책들이 막 떨어져 있어? 만약 그러면 가서 좀 제자리에 꽂아다 줄래? 완벽해. 자, 그럼 이디아스 식탁 위에 접시 좀 치워주겠어?
After the intense set of prison
뭐야?
games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
침실 가게에 줄이나 펴줘.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the
뭐지,
only
이
one that he
게임만이?
called me up to ask me to come over and look at
뭐지
it.
이 게임만에 코다가
This
나를
was during a
봐서?
period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
그래? 클린. 난 누군가의 집안은 그 사람의 영과 아주 비슷하다 말할까 생각했었어. 네가 집안일을 하면 집을 돌보면 스스로 돌보는 것 같다는 거지. 그거 하나 말하는 걸 왜 이렇게 이상하게 생각했는지 모르겠다. 하지만 그 말 속엔 조금 진실이 담겨 있어. 진심이 담겨 있어. 그치? 어쨌거나 그래서 가사도둑 말이야. 계속 해보자. 책 좀 치워줄래? 고마워. 안 치워줄 건데. 치워줄 거지 뭐. 세상에나 저 소파인 정말
I'm glad he made
엉망인데?
this. I'm glad he found some peace.
뭐야?
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you